3, 2, 1, and we're live. So I'm back at it. I still got more dishes to do, so I thought I'd make another video. You know what I hate? Like, you think that you get done with like your chores or like dishes, especially dishes, like dishes and laundry. You do them, and then they just get fucking dirty all over again, like so fast. Like, I swear, I just did dishes the other day, and there's like 30 in here that I need to get done. But anyway, so the title of this video is Social Media Addiction and Positioning. Now, I guess this topic runs really deep for me because I've been tapping into social media so much. And I feel like people on the outside, and I'm not even making this video because I care of what people think, but why I am making this video is because it's important to, I think, talk about the reasons why I'm doing it. So I'm going to tell you of two stories. So one story is about when I went to LA and I had my cousins up there that I was visiting, and one of my older cousins, very successful, and he basically, oh my God, there's this fly that's trying to attack my eye right now. He basically broke down positioning for me as a young man, being like 17, 18 years old. No, it was like, I was 20 years old, excuse me, because I was doing martial arts at that time. And he was talking to me. He said, Chris, what can you do with all those fancy belts that you have? What can you do with them? How can you one day, if you ever want to get like a high paying job, show that with the knowledge you've gained over X amount of years, 5, 7, 10 years of training, how can you show that that can directly influence what you're capable of doing for another individual, or getting people to understand what you can provide in your own terms, on your own terms? And I was like speechless. I'm like, dude, I have no idea how I can like offer value in some type of way or whatever. Because at that time, I wasn't really like a legit instructor. I mean, I was helping out, assisting with classes, but I wasn't really doing it like full time, or I just felt like very rocky in the first like stages where I was still kind of like nervous whenever I would teach and shit like that, and like get a little anxiety. And I'm like, dude, I have no fucking idea. And then he followed up with this. He said, you pay for that fancy phone, fancy. You pay for that fancy phone every month. How much do you pay for that phone? How much do you pay for your phone? And it's like around $100 or something for my phone. Not to mention that iPhones are really fucking expensive. And then I paid like a couple hundred, 500 or 700 over time to get this fucking cell phone. And he said, basically, you have spent thousands of dollars on a phone and you make no profit off of it. What is that telling you? It's telling you that you're ignorant. That's what it's telling you. And I'm like, dude, I want to punch this guy in the face right now because he's like talking shit low key. And basically he was trying to break down the fact that I use this phone all the time, but I just post bullshit. Like, I post pictures of me with my friends at parties or when I'm traveling and shit like that, but I'm making no revenue on it. I'm making nothing, not a dime. So essentially, after we had that conversation, I really changed the way that I approach social media and the way that I looked at social media. I think that everybody who has like a social life has a social media, and it's super fucking important, especially for business terms. Everybody in terms of like businesses does marketing. Now, if you're not doing that for yourself, then you're fucking up. And that's what I realized. Like, I wasn't doing anything for myself. It was just a bunch of bullshit. So I switched And I started posting like little small clips of me training, and whether it would be me hitting a bag or me running or me doing wrestling takedowns, workouts, whatever, lifting weights, that's what I posted. And over time, when you post, you become a figure of authority in your field. It doesn't matter if you're like fucking Muhammad Ali to start out with. It's not about where you start. It's like you show people the struggle of the journey, and they become invested. And that's what's so important, especially in today's day and age, where you could either be worked by social media and you could become a slave to it, or you could have social media work for you. And that's all I've done. And I feel like a lot of people kind of hate on that, or they'll say like that's Hollywood or whatever. But dude, in reality, if you're making money off of that shit and you found a way to tap into what people are interested in, and also provide people with something that you're interested in, there's like, what better good is there to do in this world besides love something, share something, and then receive that love back, right? Because you need to be compensated for the energy that you put out there. But that's really it. And I feel like a lot of people do struggle with social media addiction. Like I see people posting, pictures of whatever it is just to get the likes, just to get the likes, to get comments, to like give them a little high, to give them a little buzz, and it's fucked up because it's like they're being worked. They're being worked by social media, and social media is built up like a casino. It is built in such a way that you want to keep coming back to it. And it's like you can't get enough. I forget what they call it in behavioral psychology, but you're basically put on this like it's almost like a rotation of reinforcement. Like if you post something, you might get 100 likes, or you might get 200 likes, or you might get none because nobody fucking likes your shit, and it's all good. But what I'm trying to say is that like if you're not aware of these like psychological influences and how we operate as human beings, then you can really get pimped by it in the long run. And I guess that's really dangerous because like for me, I remember when I got really deep into social media, because I do it for my work, my martial arts studio that I train at and I teach at, they pay me to do their social media. And I think you could really get lost in it. I think that if you're not 100% like aware of what's going on in the psychology behind it, you can 100% get lost in it, and you could lose yourself in it, and it's a really fucking scary place. So one thing that I do throughout the month, I'll tap into things like sensory deprivation, where I cannot have my phone. I have to put my phone down. I just spit like really violently over there on that wall. Sorry, wall. I have to put my phone down, right? Or I go into places like the hot springs and I have to put my phone down. Or I go into like a sweat lounge, a sauna, or a Bikram yoga session. I have to put my phone away because I feel like if I'm at my house and I'm just like, yada, 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 I take out my phone and I'm like, who looked at my shit? And now that I have multiple platforms, I have a YouTube platform, a Medium blog platform, I have a business Facebook page, I have an Instagram page, Snapchat, Twitter. The list goes on. It's never going to end. They're going to come out with new stuff, and I'm going to hop on that new stuff. And Gary Vee breaks down this so well. He breaks down this so well. And Gary Vaynerchuk, he's somebody to look into social media marketing if you ever want to, launch some of your business ideas, because I think we live in an era where you can do fucking anything. You could do anything. If you think of something that's cool and that can help people out, and you really want to strategize yourself around it, then you can do that. Story number 2, positioning. Okay, so what am I talking about with positioning? Well, I have a story for that. It's this piano. No, he's not a piano guy. He's a violinist. And every show that he does, he gets paid like $50,000 or some crazy shit like that for doing a violinist show. And he has a really old antique violin that he plays with, and it's very unique. The sound is very unique, along with his skill set it just takes them through the roof. Now, they did an experiment where they placed this dude who makes around 50 grand every single time he plays, right? And they put him in a subway station to play for people on the subway. So he was hustling out there for like several hours. It was basically like a full day of work, right? 7 to 9 hours. And he made like $100, a couple $100 compared to $50,000 for a show. Now, basically, this article that I read was talking about positioning. And if you could find a way to position yourself around your love that you do, you will inevitably make more money. You will have more eyes on you. You will have people talking about your stuff more and more and more until you just keep climbing that ladder. And really, like, that's what it's about. At the end of the day, like, you have to fucking eat. If you are like an artist and you're trying to create art and do something that you love and you want to put your content out there, you need to find a way to feed yourself and feed your fucking family at the end of the day, or else it's just not going to work. You're going to flop on your face because you just starve. So what does that mean for me in my life? That's all I've been doing these last couple of years, is positioning myself. Positioning, right? But not getting lost on it. I feel like people can get lost in the positioning part, and they can lose themselves in like the lights and the social media. And especially when you start finding your voice and you feel like you could just talk for days, you can really get lost in trying to impress people. So you need to be aware of that and come back from it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I found a lot of good resources. Elliot Hulse is a really good resource on social media marketing. He's been one of my gurus from like 17, 18 years old. Gary Vaynerchuk, RSD Tyler. Those are probably the top 3 social media marketers that I love and I've been following for such a long time. I mean, they've influenced a lot of different things that I'm doing now currently. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And in the end, it's like Elliot Hulse breaks it down in the most simple terms. He's like, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to love something. You need to share that love, and then you need to receive love. There's 3 different parts to it. And then he also goes into the non-job ladder, meaning if you love something and you share something and you want to receive that love back, then you have to have a system set up for yourself. Now, what is that system? You hit every single platform, every single social media platform that you can, and you provide free content for it. Free content for whatever you're doing. The best things in life are free. The only reason why I think people pay for shit is because they're really on board with what you're saying and they want to support you because you put out so much free content. I feel like that's how the new era is working now. That's how the new marketing is twisting. And I feel like people don't buy shit to just buy shit, especially in my generation. They follow the brand. They follow the people who are branding themselves, or things like GoPro branding itself with like, be a hero, go outside and adventure and travel and do all these things. So you need to figure out a way to really brand yourself and to position yourself in a way that you can love something, share something, and get compensated for that love. I'm pretty much done. Have a great day.